Good day, everybody. Brian here from quantlabsnet.com. I just wanted to show you one of the two coding demos. What I thought was going to be originally workshops coming together. Did a little tiny survey on YouTube. This is the first one, ChromaDB. So Chroma is a open source database that holds tokens, and what I'm going to show you is documents. Now I'm going to have a whole course on this. Hopefully, it'll be accepted by YouTube within the YouTube channel, along with a demo, and I'll put a separate video on that on how to set up MCP servers. So I'm going to go into a rant after what I'm going to show you what I want. So essentially, again, as you know, AI builds everything, and this one was using a Claude 4.0 Sonnet. This was an easy, well, I should say an easy build, but it went through a very complicated way of building stuff out, which I'll show you. And I'm kind of surprised um, how this approach is taken. I've been in this business for too long, but I'm going to give you my opinion on it in a minute. Anyways, this is the Chroma DB to get this running. As you can see, AI chose Streamlit because it's that good, that easy to work with. And here I've got a monitoring uh, script. And again, this is all going to be part of my course. I'll go over it, but I just want to show you what it does. Um, so here, um, it the problem is it gets in this telemetry because I removed it, the AI removed it, but I'm going to show you anyways the app. So again, this is a Streamlit app. We have one document stored in here, so we can add a document, search a document, view a document, manage a database. So this is a stripped down version of how these tokens get stored in these type of little internal databases within this case Python, um, and it's an open source project. And where they make their money is on the hosting side of this. So you build up this database, upload it to this service, and they'll host it as part of a clouding solution. So let's just take a look at what I've gotten here already. Everything's all been uploaded via this form, and there's no documents here. It looks like I can do a bulk import as well. You have to put it into a JSON file as well. So it's only it gets converted into a JSON format. But I'm doing it the simple way because my life I like is to be simple, clean, easy. Uh, and if you're gonna try to build a very complicated high frequency trading system around something like this, and you try to take the over engineered approach, you're not going to last very long. It's a very fragile approach to architect pieces of software. Nonetheless, let's show you what gets fed into this. So in the document, we have the document text, the title, the category. Okay, so it could be any of these. So I've got one general, um, uh, one general token in there, or document, whatever you want to call it, in a JSON format. We have an author name and tags. So the whole concept here is how the back end of a lot of these large language models work and how they access data. ChromaDB is one of the more simpler ways to host that type of data and how to get it categorized. Obviously, it gets a lot more complicated. And again, we can add in tagging as well for that document, that piece of content. So essentially, if I take a look at the one that I've uploaded, I've got one in here called Hello Brian. All it is just categories of general. Tag is Brian and Joe, and it just says, "Hello, I am Brian. How is Joe today?" So if I go into searching the document and just say, "What am I looking for?" I'll put me in there. Just one document. Um, Advanced search if I want all. I can put in by category, and I just go search, and boom, gets the one result. So this is a very primitive way of looking at what Chroma is. Another approach here is we can manage the database, so we can export all the documents. So we have a collection here, my name. Um, Again, this is all vector-based cosine similarity. Again, I like to keep it simple, and it can get very complex. So here, um, if I look at what I just downloaded here, this is what I just downloaded right here. So this will open up. Okay, so this should be it. So it's all in JSON. Here's what's exported, and this is internally stored in this database. Okay, now this is all Python for those that don't know Streamlit. Okay, so that's kind of good. And again, if I put in another document, say, um, today is nice weather with sun. Okay, so here I could just say, I don't know, put it as weather. Just a very simple example so people get a grasp of what this really is. Obviously, it can get more complicated, so I'll put that as a as under research. I'll put me as the author again. So again, this is how a lot of LLMs will work, where they're going to have different authors, sources, and it's much obviously much more complicated. But this is generally how it is because what it will do is that you will use these tokens or these documents internally, call them whatever you want, like a traditional file management database system, um, and put some tags in here, and I'll put its weather, comma separated, as you can see, and sun. Okay, so now I've added that document, right? So if I go back to here to view all documents, so now we have two separate documents stored, and here it is. Boom. All right, so if I do a search for that, and I just say, I don't know, looking for the word sun, anything around sun, I can also, as I said, I can show all the different categories, but in this case, I'll just do all, search, found two results, weather, and then the hello. And you can see here, it gives a ranking on the similarity of it as well. So this is, from what I understand, how LLMs work. And ChromaDB will um, internalize that as well. All right, so let's get into the more complicated stuff because this is now my rant. Official rant starts. Okay. So right here, as we're running this, you can see here we have some telemetry event. It's been changed around because of the iteration of to get to this point. Um, but what gets me is when you build out the original version with building uh, building out the torch, building out uh, a lot of NVIDIA dependencies, a lot of other things to take advantage of the CUDA. This is overly complicated, okay? What I'm showing you is very easy to understand. Problem is like, look how many packages there are. We're running over 90. Um, and the problem is, what I really have difficulty with is when you build it, uh, what happens is you have all these different uh, packages in Python, and there's all these incompatibilities as you build it out. Like this particular package won't build with that package because it's incompatible because that package is too old or that package is too new and it's not really doable. Now I'm using just standard pip, and I'm thinking there are other services that are supposed to take care of all of this. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute. Anyways, this I iterated this for an hour. I couldn't get anywhere with it with AI trying to get it to correct and build with all the AI, with all the different uh, runtime errors I was getting because of compatibility problems between this package and that package. I have no idea who builds this or architects this, but it's really over engineered. It's crazy. Anyways, eventually, what happened was over time the AI gets smart and it reasons and it starts to realize I'm finding difficulty to get the thing running. So what it will do, again, this is Claude, it will then start to strip out everything and start over and then basically have it only 8 essential packages. There I can build it out, whatever features I want, but just to overwhelm it with all these other packages to get it to the point, and then on top of have all these compatibility problems between all these different packages. It's maddening. And the problem is that people will go all out uh, to to do this. So for instance, I just found this out. One called Fireworks AI. Okay, This service only focuses on those open source packages. Okay. So here we got the OpenAI latest, what came out a week, 2 weeks ago, open source ones. Um, and these are all the different open source model libraries that are available. Okay. So we have all of these: Flux, OpenAI, open source. This GLM looks interesting. I'll just leave it at that. I haven't really played with it, but that one looks very interesting. And all these other ones, and on top of you got DeepSeek is going to be in here, obviously, because that's going to be open source. You got Microsoft Pi. I've never worked with it. OpenAI, open source, and Google, and some other ones as well. Here's the thing when it comes to LLMs. This is a very competitive space now. Um, the leaders right now, I would say, at least in the cloud environment or for business, the leading provider of all LLMs and models is going to be Anthropic. You see here, Anthropic is not providing any form of open source capabilities through any of these services. You have to pay for it. But still, Claude and Anthropic are the leaders in many things, and it's quickly getting bigger, as far as I know, as OpenAI on the consumer side. With the latest GPT-5, I think OpenAI is going to stay the leader. But here's the problem. The other big tech companies like Meta, Microsoft, and Google are falling behind because of OpenAI. From what I understand, the founder Altman's gonna spend now trillions of dollars on infrastructure with data warehousing and the like. So these guys, the big ones, are falling behind. Meta, Microsoft, and Google, and as a result, their existence and their future could be badly affected by this because of OpenAI and the like of, not mention again, Perplexity and Claude or Anthropic, because they're so far ahead in the game that these three big tech firms, again, Meta, Microsoft, and Google, are trying to keep up. Meanwhile, you have heavy competition coming from DeepSeek and Quen. Quen is quite good as well. This Quen 3.5 or 3 open source, I have to tell you, it's very close to the quality of output with when it against what Claude puts out. It's very good. But the latest versions of Claude 4.1 is light years ahead of Claude 4.0. Same with ChatGPT. I never used to like ChatGPT or OpenAI, even with the 4. Didn't like it. This new ChatGPT 5, I played with it quite a bit. It's really powerful, very good. People complain about it. I know why people complain about it. I'm not getting into it. But the other one that is not listed here is XAI, which is Grok, and Grok's get pretty good too. So it's a very fierce set of competition from Quen and DeepSeek on the Chinese side, let alone on the U.S. side. This is good because the usage of these LLMs are getting much cheaper. The other thing I wouldn't suggest is here with the Fireworks AI. Um, yeah, I'm just saying the pay by use is going to kill you over time. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. But to build out these crazy home built LLM solutions, it's unless you want to work with 90 plus incompatible packages in Python, it's going to be a nightmare. It's just not a smart way, and you're going to be buying cases of Advil and Tylenol to get around this. To me, it's just not worth it. Where I got it working with the ChromaDB, I see the use of it. I can see why it's powerful, um, which is the fundamental of how these things are stored. I can see that on top of, I'm going to show you the MCP server as well in another video. But if you want to learn more as I look at these, and again, I have the ChromaDB course along with in the same little course will be the MCP server demos as well, which I'll put in a separate database or a separate video. But that's how we keep the lights on. So you support to buy these courses, and if I see there's a big use in these, I can put up more stuff like this specifically around quant and programming for quant and quant trading. I've got over 50 plus in a membership, but I can't sell these through YouTube or anywhere because YouTube will not allow me to sell anything related around finance. So any application or programming courses that I have that will show any use of finance applications are not going to be accepted by YouTube or could pose a problem for me. So I won't post those. But just so you know, if there's enough demand for, I'll gladly put out other courses like this because they're very quick to generate and quick to understand, quick to talk about, and see what seems to be the right path as well. We'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.